Vives versus scholastics. Christian thinkers rediscovered Aristotle in the Middle Ages, mainly through Latin translations of Arabic commentaries on him, and this brought a new appreciation for logical analysis and laid the cornerstone for the spread of universities. This association with institutionalized education led to the approach becoming known as scholasticism. It reinvigorated intellectual activity for a time and came to dominate it. Scholasticism soon stagnated, however, into a rigid adherence to dialectics, a form of logical argument that tested opposing propositions against each other, and which was taught through collections of abstract logical problems called sophismata. Four criticisms developed of the scholastic approach to intellectual endeavour and the educational system designed to impart it. First, that it taught a corrupted form of Latin devised for use in philosophical argument, but not suited to clear communication. Second, in relying on interpreters, seen as necessary filters for pagan ideas, it had become disconnected from the true sources of ancient learning. Its imposition of monastically inspired discipline on students was also much criticized, as was its pursuit of abstract theological questions which were seen as irrelevant to the moral, ethical and practical concerns of humanity and everyday life. A movement developed from the 14th century that thought to put the humanity back into education. Most thinkers wrote something about the struggle between these humanists and the scholastics, but none was more influential than the 16th century intellectual Desiderius Erasmus. One of his most notable disciples was the Spanish educator Juan Luis Vives. In 1520, Vives published a trenchant criticism of the scholastic obsessions of his former professors at the University of Paris, and wished he could unlearn the wasteful nonsense he had been taught there. He felt the convoluted language used in dialectics was a barbaric form of Latin, and that the approach to teaching logic through sophismata only amounted to a collection of riddles suitable for the amusement of young women and children. He wondered that the logic of Aristotle could have developed into something so monstrously deformed. Vives felt that the rigorous formal language of the dialecticians was useless in interpreting reality, and he looked to the more concrete world of everyday communication to answer practical needs and provide knowledge that was useful. It was also inexcusable, in his view, that those that would call themselves teachers did not know Aristotle from primary sources and had never even seen a book of his in Greek, relying on interpretations of interpretations instead of coming to their own understanding. Vives could not believe that such a gangrenous plague of the mind and a corruption of talent would be able to last much longer, and confidently predicted that it would pass into oblivion when the other arts awoke from their slumber, minds were opened, and the true disciplines embraced. He sought to be midwife to the rebirth of good learning, founded on a return to the elegant command of Latin, what humanists called bonae literae, or good letters. Through transforming education in this way, he hoped to change society as a whole for the better. Scholasticism did not give way to humanism as Vives had hoped. Scholastic thinkers, partly in reaction to the challenge and thanks to the new or reformed religious orders, including the Jesuits, continued to be active in educational and intellectual life for the next 200 years. Many teachers did take on aspects of the approach recommended by Erasmus, however, aiming to engage and stimulate the mind of the young student, rather than just train and discipline it. Many of the works of Erasmus were placed on the first index of banned books, not long after his death in 1536, as he was blamed for laying the groundwork for the Reformation. Vives himself declined an offer to return to Spain and teach at a new university founded on humanist principles, probably for fear of the growing power of the Inquisition there. He died in Belgium in 1540.